Hey everybody, welcome to my studio here in Nashville, Tennessee. The majority of my work and job consists of producing records, mixing records, arranging, programming, doing all sorts of stuff musically, but primarily helping artists create their art and create their products. So I've been working with this band called Anberlin. Great bunch of guys, great band, great music, very, rock forward, but tons of different types of elements. You got electronic in there. And so I was asked to come in and help produce the vocals, help arrange some things, do some post-production and additional programming and all that stuff. So I went down to Florida, spent a week with the guys, and we tracked all the vocals, all the BGVs, all the lead vocals, and we added a bunch of great stuff. So we had a release today called Convinced. Go check it out. It's on all the platforms. Yeah, I think you're gonna love it. But one of my favorite songs on this record, the song called Animals. The mix is phenomenal. I mean, I've never heard drums sound bigger, but Jeremy Griffith did a phenomenal job mixing this thing, and the mastering by Berlin at the Loft Studio. They really brought the whole production to life. What I want to do today is do a quick little run through of some of my favorite elements of this song. Some of these elements kind of get buried in the mix because obviously they need to make sure, the band wins. But these samples and these cool things, man, they're some of my favorite elements on this whole song. I think you're really going to love it. So let's dive into this. Basically what the track sounds like right now out in the world. We'll kind of hear the first verse in a little bit.
You're my hill to die on and absorbed. You're the whole lying, so absorbed I can't see myself anymore. You take up space in my head, oh it's true. My moment watershed, so absorbed I can't tell us apart anymore. Animals, are we ruthless creatures after all? Animals, oh animals, I wanna tear you apart, I wanna eat you alive.
A lot going on in that first little bit. Let's take a listen to some of the layers that are going on. Let's jump to like the synths and a little bit of the drum programming. First thing, I kind of found these great textures. And then we're right into the verse. And I just had stems to work with, for these guys. These were the work in progress for them. So, verses.
You're my hill to die and absorbed.
So, lead vocals got a lot of processing and all that, but the vocals down here, we just needed just dark and creepy.
You're my hill to die on and absorb.
Really, just my horror voice, creepy. You layer it though.
You're the whole lying, so absorbed I can't see myself anymore.
Helps add some air, Anyway, so that's kind of the one layer. It's almost acting like as a pad, if you will, just that top happening. Anyway, but these drums, this is the loop that I got. Let me show you quickly what's going on. That on its own sounds like this. Not a whole lot happening, but let's add a little primal tap from Sound Toys. Good delay. But here's where the real magic comes in. Just full-blown destruction. You really hear it on the tail, which is great. But I needed to pitch that. So if you look, I'm writing automation of the wave sound shifter. So it kind of helps move with the bass. Anyway, love that kick. It's such a great thing. All right, now let's get to verse 2, which is the second half of the verse. More loop. And I absolutely love this company, Arcade by Output. Such unique, it's like my instant get unstuck, you know. But obviously I needed kind of some nightmare sounding creepy loop stuff. It sounds great on its own, but I like finding rhythms and patterns with it. So if you look at the MIDI, the way I'm using it, really fun. So that's kind of the momentum happening in the verses. So let's look at, these are really fun. This is a broken piano, and I actually don't know who made this. It's called the Death Piano. I'll find it and tag him in the link. But that, and then the cassette piano. So this, that's that sound that's happening in the choruses. So let's hear just that.
Animals, are we ruthless creatures after all? Animals, oh, I'll tear you apart. I wanna eat you alive.
And then that's where the biggest, like, that sound is. They did a phenomenal job. Tim and JJ down in Tampa, from Tim from Under Oath and JJ, they engineered this and did a phenomenal job. So let's jump into verse 3. From a vocal standpoint, you gotta hear what's happening, because you hear it in the mix on the record, but sometimes it's nice to get a little insight. This is just the acapella. This is all what's happening in the verses of verse 3.
Never want the warmth of other suns. No need to ever feel the death of love.
So, big fan of Marilyn Manson. He has this ability to, like, underneath his vocal, and it just adds this, like, creepy, it makes the lead vocal sound like they're just falling apart. So,
never want the warmth of other suns. No need to ever feel the death of love. So now let yourself cave in.
lots of fun effects and all that. So anyway, that's the vocal layer in this verse. But the real fun is what's happening in, like, drum programming and pad world and all of this. So this, from here to here, all of this, let's just hear vocals, or let's just hear this on its own. This is the verse. Yeah, you read that correctly. I needed something that's rhythmic, but I didn't want it in time. You pair that with the kick drum loop. It cycles every little bit, but I wanted it to be out of time intentionally right there, just to make you feel uneasy, because the song is very, tense. It's got a lot of darkness with it. I love it. Here's more. All right, so there was some weird dinosaur noises in there, so let's look at that real quick. So one of my favorite samples is this one, and you can hear it in the mix. You just got to listen for it carefully. Into the bedroom. Whatever you want the song to be about. I think we were talking about it because, we're all married in the band, and just sometimes you need to say that. So a little bit of that influenced this, you see where we're going. So anyway, then we have the vocal reverse dinosaur, which honestly I think was Steven, or it might have been me going like that, and we just pitched it. Yeah, let's see. No, there's no more of it. You can actually hear somebody laughing in the background because it was ridiculous. Super fun. Then we got a vocal reverse that I built from Steven. So I took a vocal section that he already had sang, took it. Animals. When he did the malls. I took that and just manipulated it. Tons of plugins on it. Then I printed it. So we don't know what it is. But it is his ending of moles. Animals. And I just took it and chopped it. And there's some great plugins. One called Effectrix. So that's a great tool. Obviously, tons of sound toys. That is a great trick. Instead of a crash cymbal, using a vocal sample. So, let's take one last look at the synths of verse 2. This right here is maybe one of my favorites. There's a great artist I work with. Her name is Shaylee Simeon. And we did a record a while back, and she was so kind to give me a vocal sample, which I turned into a pad. Phenomenal singer-songwriter. You should go check her out. But that is her vocal sample into Reactor with just a ton of stuff on it. That pad's happening in verse 3. So just to help kind of give some atmosphere and things like that. The guys down in the studio, though, they came up with this great sound, and I just took it and chopped it. Super rhythmic, really great. I don't know what they did. It just was a stem, and I took and chopped it. So let's pair them all, and here you go. Just more ear candy, but if you listen to what Steven is singing at that point, it will make a lot of sense. So he says,
All my instincts, they can over so wrong. You slow your body, can't control your lungs. But we both know that few will hunt.
Tons of stuff. Anyway, it's just, you slow your body, can't control your lungs. We needed something. And so I honestly think I just grabbed, I always like to just have like a 58 just like rolling around on the desk and just be able to we need like a, great, awesome. Then we got it, and we don't have to like overthink or go digging through Splice. It's just done. Getting into chorus 2. This is where a lot of things just come to life, and it's great. Want to brag on Christian in the band. So,
Animals, are we ruthless creatures after all? Animals, I'll tear you apart.
woo! It's just, man, he's got this mid-range that is like no other. So, but if you listen to all the BGVs now, this is a little bit of me and Christian back and forth.
Animal, animals, are we ruthless creatures after all? Animals.
So the reason that I doubled Steven in this moment is because if you get Steven has such a unique voice, and if you get a ton of that layered upon layer upon layer, it's a lot of Steven. Nothing wrong with that, but there's a lot of mid-range in his voice. So I was able to match him with just a little bit different texture. And so you listen to just he and I.
Animals.
Him being way up front, a lot of dirt on his voice, but there's this texture on either side, and it just helps thicken that lead vocal up and really bring it just right here to the surface. All right, let's look at this bridge section. All right.
I wanna tear you apart. I wanna eat you alive. I wanna eat you alive. I wanna tear you apart. I wanna eat you alive. I wanna tear you apart.
No, no. You need to hear that on its own because Steven did a phenomenal job at this moment.
I wanna eat you alive. I wanna tear you
Okay, brag on Christian a little bit. He had this great idea for like an Alice in Chains-esque kind of thing. He was like, I just want it to be just this drony thing. And so we came up with this 3-part harmony, and it makes you do that as it's changing chords. And you pair that with this modular thing from Arturia, and all this is just a modular synth. It just adds to the vocal layer that we built with Christian. All right, so let's get to this last little section right here.
creatures after all. Animal.
Let's just listen to the vocals real quick. So it's 3 layers of Steven. So Steven has down the middle, and what do we got here? This is a double of him and another double of him. So this is just Steven.
Animal. Animals.
Had a little ad lib in there, just to kind of break up some of the monotonous of, multiple choruses. So,
animal, oh animals.
Like he's got some dirt on him for sure. But we all can use a little help. So this last chorus, when I brought everything back to Nashville, I was just editing and cleaning up things here. I was like, I didn't get this one harmony I kept hearing in my head. Animals, just in the rafters. This is where I doubled him, and then I also did this super high harmony that you hear on the record. So, yeah. At the top of my lungs, near death, like just the highest ever. Grab hold of something and give it hell. That right there helps this last chorus just launch.
Animals, are we ruthless creatures after all? Animals, are we ruthless creatures after all? Animals, we're animals. I wanna tear you apart. I wanna eat you alive.
So that was my ending, and so then when I turned that over to Jeremy, I was like, hey, look, I just threw a bit crusher on my 2 mix, and I just wanted to destroy the song, because we're saying I want to tear you apart, and Steven did, once again, just a phenomenal job on that little vocal thing. I also want to give a quick shout out to Sterling Audio. Super flat in a good way, and it works great on male vocals, female vocals, aggressive vocals, everything you just heard done on this. Anyway, Sterling Audio, thank you so much. It's been the sound of the last 2 Anberlin EPs, and almost every project that I've been a part of or worked on or produced, this has been a huge player on the vocal. So thank you, Sterling Audio. All of these pretty much got re-recorded by the guys. These were just kind of their demos, or their kind of like work in progress stems. But there's a couple of synth layers that they built in the studio, which sound great. That is like such a carrier of that chorus. I took that and just layered a little bit more with it. Found the space that it wasn't in. There's some great little hidden gems in here that if you're not, you don't know what you're listening for, you just miss them. And just because the song overtakes you, you're not listening to all the small nuances. So I just wanted to bring some attention to some of the small little moves and some of the samples that we used in this, like this little inhale, right before this big O hit.
I wanna tear you apart. I wanna eat you alive.
It doesn't compare at all to this master when this hits right here. Like,
I wanna eat you alive.
whatever they did down there, just absolute magic and wizardry. Okay, one last little trick. I needed just something to sound super eerie, so I went and found a little horror movie. Worthy of Alfred Hitchcock. And you just load it up with a bunch of good stuff. Really capitalizing on that transient, that, right at the front of it, acting like a crash cymbal without a crash cymbal. Anyway, there you have it. That is just a quick breakdown of some of my favorite things that we did on this song. It's called Animals on the EP Convinced. I'll do another one of these. Like I said, I love producing records and building sounds and sound design. And if you're interested, all the links for contact in the description below. Go check out the song. Thanks, everybody. Later.